Hello, my fellow forwards. This is going to be the tactics video for forwards, which is this position right here. Um, as you can see, um, we're playing in a 2-3-1 formation, which means we have two defenders, three midfielders, and one forward. Um, we're playing this way just to emphasize more ball movement. You can see there's a lot of triangles that are good for ball movement. Um, And this kind of brings us into the first thing that forwards really add to the team when the ball's back here. And it's a little counterintuitive because you would think that as a forward, if you're trying to get the ball, you'd want to come back a little bit more. But the best thing you can really do in this situation is do what's called stretching the field. And as a forward, you are our furthest line of offense. And so if you're hanging back here, your defender's going to be able to follow you, and this guy's going to be able to pinch in. And now we have this person here and this person here, and um, it's a little jumbled in here. But if you're a forward and you're constantly trying to go behind your defender, or you peel off the shoulder of your defender, the defender's going to kind of have to creep back a little bit. Um, and so there's something called stretching the field, and that's trying to push their back line, sometimes quite literally putting your shoulder into the other defender and getting him to kind of run back with you. Don't be aggressive. Don't get called for a foul. Um, so with this, I want to talk about offsides, which I should probably figure out if we have offsides or not in 6v6. I think in 7v7. I think we do. I think there is offsides. I would expect that. But you might be confused if I'm telling you to always be pushing the back line, but you also don't want to be offsides. Um, Kind of like where you want to be positioned as a striker or a forward is off of the shoulder. This is what I would do. I would position yourself on the shoulder of one of the center backs. And the reason I would do this is because if you're just hovering in the center between them, you might think okay, well, I'd want to be in the middle of them. The problem with this is you're not really. There's this lane here you're not really involved in, and there's not really a lane here. Maybe our center mid could kind of come out here, but their center mid's not really gonna go that far out. So there's not really a good place for you to receive the ball. Um, And so you might find yourself as a forward kind of hovering either on this side if the ball is over here, maybe the ball gets switched, and now you're hovering off of this person. And even though you're as close as you can get to this defender, it actually is a good thing because you can either post up against them, get the ball at your feet, and then, oh my gosh, look how many lanes there are. You gotta be kidding me. Look at that. Boom, you play off their shoulder, and bang. Um, that is what we call a good thing in soccer. And then you could even um, peel off their shoulder and kind of run over top and make this corner flag run if you want. Um, and so I guess the point I'm trying to make is if you're playing forward, you want to be high on the field. And no, you don't want to be what's called offsides. I think I will explain offsides in this video because it's important. But basically, the idea is if you are past, think of a horizontal. Okay, let's do this. Line, outline, red. Boom. Um, Pretend this line is in line with what's called their last defender. So their last defender is this guy, and there's this horizontal line that moves up and down the field um, as this person moves. And then if this person moves past this other defender, then all of a sudden this person becomes the last line of defense. And so if you're a forward and you're past this line before one of the other teammates passes the ball, that's called offsides. Um, so that's something to be watching out for. You kind of want to be as close to this line as possible without being too far over it, because if you're over it and somebody tries to play a ball over top, you're gonna get called offsides. But if you are off the shoulder of this guy and you're standing at a shoulder, you know where he is at all times, so you know where to not be offsides. And then this ball can be played, and then you can kind of like put your not I don't know about put your shoulder into them, but you can like play off them and peel around their shoulder and get the ball right here. That's kind of like, I mean, it's relatively advanced, um, but again, that's just an idea of what to do up top. There's one more maneuver I think I want to talk about offensively with forwards, and that's checking in. So checking into the ball is when you make a quick run into space right here, where you could either receive the ball at your feet, or more likely what happens is you actually free up space for somebody else to make a run. Because if you weren't checked in right here and you were back more and somebody tries to make a run over top, this defender's really close and you can take the ball, or she can take the ball. Versus if you check in right here and this defender follows you, now this outside mid can sprint and there's so much more space for a ball to be played over top. Another thing, I think I forget if I mentioned this or not. I've made so many of these videos. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Another thing you can do if you check in is you receive the ball at your feet, right here, which is that's not a horrible thing, but something that's a little bit better in this situation. This is a little bit more advanced. Is you kind of want to like check in a little bit, but kind of like put your back and shoulder into this defender, and you want to maintain as much like space as possible. Because if you're running all the way back here, getting the ball, where are you going with it, dude? You're not. Yeah, you can turn maybe into this guy. Maybe you get a really tight layoff, and there's space for a ball over top. But that's a little bit harder to do than if you're posting up against this guy. You get the ball in here, and now all of a sudden there's so much more space for our midfielder to utilize. Look at this. That is poggers. Again, this is relatively advanced stuff, but the summary is, if you're playing forward, you kind of want to play off the shoulder of their defenders. If they're doing a line where they have 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, and a forward, kind of like a Christmas tree sort of thing, then you want to play off the shoulder of this guy, and there's a little bit more room for you to like kind of make a run between these two, whether it's like outside mid gets the ball and you can kind of, you're playing off the shoulder, you can get the ball at your feet, or if this person comes in, you can play off this person's shoulder and the ball gets played down the line. I don't anticipate a lot of teams playing with 3 defenders. I mean, they might, but that's kind of boring. Playing with 3 defenders is pretty boring, not gonna lie. And if your team does that, they deserve to lose, which is funny because we might do that. So, anyways, now defensively, let's say they have the ball here. There's something important to do playing up top, and it's intuitive, but if you're doing what's called pressuring the defense, because notice you are unique on the field in that you have 2 people that you need to guard, whereas everybody else has 1 person they need to guard or half a person that they need to guard, because these 2 defenders kind of pair up against this guy, or this guy really plays zone. And so you want to try and close a defender off to one side of the field. So if the defender has the ball and you start here and you just kind of like run at them like this, they can easily play to their guy, and they're advancing up the field, and then you have to kind of like run and chase them from behind, and that's just kind of stupid. Versus if you come at them from an angle, then at the very least, if they do switch the field, which is playing the ball across different sides of the field, I get into the topic of switching the field more in the defender video if you want to know what that is. they're much further back, and this person could probably take a touch forward, but you're at a lot better of an angle, and they're a lot further behind on the field. Or even like the defender, if you do it well enough, will have to go back to their goalie, and then we can step up the field, and then this person has to go here, and then you can kind of juke out the goalie a little bit. He's got to figure out where do I pass the ball, because traditionally goalies suck with their feet. So now you're here, and it's just much better that way. So that's kind of defensively what to do. You, as a forward, you're probably, if we're back, or if everybody's up the field on their team, somehow they're getting an attack going. You're probably always going to be hanging out at midfield if the ball's like up the field, and their defenders right here. You're not really going to go super far up the field unless one of their center backs like kind of joins the attack, and then you can chase them. But just so if you're new and you don't really know where you're going to be standing, this just kind of get an idea that as a forward, your area on the field is really like, it's a lot of like this box and running to these corners. It's really like this like whole area. You're forward. You do whatever you want. You're a striker. You score goals. So we need you up the field. If you're not scoring goals, who else is? That being said, let's change the scenario. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. Let me make this more understandable. I'm going to walk us through a play. Daniel's playing left back. Let's say he gets the ball switched to, I don't know, Sam, who's playing right back, and Sam gets the ball pushed. You're able to post up against your guy, get the ball at your feet. Let's say our midfielder beats their guy. You get the ball laid off. This is a common technique. You get the ball laid off, and then our left mid gets going through. You're kind of gonna, the temptation, there's two things you could do here. So what we're setting up for is, well, there's a lot you could do, but these are two solid ideas. We're setting up for a cross, for the ball to be crossed across the goal, across the box, and we need runners, forwards, to kind of get in front of their defender and kind of score the ball from here. So the ball gets crossed and pass, boom, goal. So that's something that you could do. You could split let's say this person's chasing, you could split the gap between these two defenders, get the ball here, score. As you can notice, this angle is kind of really small because the goal is going to be more of like right here, and this angle is a little short. It's going to be hard to kind of go that side of the goal, so you're going to want to come here. So here I guess there's three things. I lied. There's three things you can do here. One is you can make this near post run, get the ball, finish. What in the world? Get this ball, finish here. Stop it. Or you could, what you probably want to do is you want to kind of like hold your run back a little bit and like leave this space open, and then when the ball gets crossed, you like sprint. The goalie's probably gonna be closer around here. You sprint around this person's shoulder, and now the ball comes in, and look, there's so much better angles here. You can squeeze the ball in a far post. So like as a forward, space is literally your best friend. And so it's counterintuitive because the ball's on this side of the field, so you intuitively want to be on the side of the field, but it's better that like you stretch the field horizontally and you create space. And then when you see this outside mid ready to cross the ball in, then you make your beeline, and there's a lot better angles to score. But if this center back is doing a really good job of closing off, let's say our left mid beats their guy, the center back's doing a really good job of like closing off the space, and the goalie's doing a good job of defending. What you can do is what's called like a near post run. You can get to the near post, the ball comes in, and all you got to do is do a little touch, and you flick it across the goal again. You just like kind of continue the ball, and now all of a sudden you have your outside mid who's on the back post, and they have an easy finish. High school, I think it was regional. No, it wasn't regional semis. It was district finals. That was how we scored. We had to throw and come from this side, and I was playing up top. I got the ball here at the near post. I flicked it on over my head. It bounced around in here, and then one of our midfielders scored it. Um, so that happened a lot of the times during season. So like while I wasn't the person that was scoring a lot on these, I was able to flick the ball over top and make it really easy for somebody else to score. So that's another idea. Yeah. Anyways, that's a lot. I'm throwing a lot at you, but it's better to see it's here than not know. At least have some ideas of what to do. So, anyways, yeah, I think that's the last video that I'll make. If you're a psychopath and you've watched all of these videos, thank you. But yeah, if not, then hopefully you got something out of these ones. So, anyways, see you on Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but next.